All right, Dr. Brett here. I'm going to talk to you guys quick about sciatic type problems versus disc type problems. We get a lot of questions on this in regards to, like, I have sciatica, or I have herniated disc, a blown disc, a ruptured disc, a lot of terms that people use. There's a big difference between like true disc-related problems with people versus an inflammatory issue just in that lower back, spine area, and certain joints. So I try to break it out into some simple things here, and I really came up with 3 basic kind of warning signs to say, you know what, you have a true disc problem that you need to get addressed like ASAP. The problem with like true disc problems is that ultimately you end up putting direct pressure on the nerve itself, which over a course of time, if that pressure is there long enough, it'll actually start to permanently damage that nerve where you don't get full function back over a period of time. So the clock's ticking per se on there. So the 3 things we like to look at with regards to this is that from a pain perspective, you actually get pain like a quote-unquote sciatic type problem will start kind of in a glute type issue. It may go down to the thigh or whatever. A disc type problem, you're going to get it literally all the way down the leg, past the knee, down into your foot and into your toes specifically on there, because you're actually affecting the nerve that goes clear down all the way down the full length of the leg, versus an inflammatory issue just in a joint, for example, will affect just the muscle tissue kind of around that area over the course of time. So that's the first one. You're going to get pain. My rule of thumb, if it goes past the knee, we need to figure this thing out sooner rather than later on there. Second thing on here is what I call like toe drop, where people start tripping over their toes. They start to notice a weakness where they literally, like, if you put your foot up here and you put your hand on it, you wouldn't be able to hold against it at that point. And what people will notice with that is that they'll start tripping over their toes. Like going up the stairs, they'll miss the step, for example, or a curb, they'll catch the curb, or they're just walking and start dragging their toe on it, or they can't go up on their toes. Like the ability to stand on your toes and walk on your toes or walk on your heels is a big indicator that you're either good or you're bad at that point. If you can't walk on your toes across the room or walk on your heels across the room, you got a problem at that point. You need to get it figured out sooner rather than later. And the last one on there, which again, people don't necessarily associated with it, but your nerves don't only control pain and strength, but they control internal stuff as well too. In a lot of cases, the nerves that get affected with lower back type problems, disc herniation, true disc herniation type problems, control your bowel function and your bladder function as well too. So people will start to experience some random array of symptoms, whether it's incontinence, the inability to hold urine or feces, for example. They'll start to lose control of that, or in some cases, they'll have the opposite of that, where they'll get extreme constipation, for example, due to some of these problems that happen on there. So you start getting internal issues with that. So any of these issues with it, whether it's a bowel bladder incontinence that you have, a foot weakness issue, like you're starting to trip over your toes and things like that, or you get a strong definitive pain past your knee down into like your calf, you could point to it like this toe and this toe, or that toe, or this side of my foot, or that side of my foot, or the bottom of my foot. Those are all things that you need to take very seriously and actually have something done about it sooner rather than later. So again, hopefully you gain something from this. A lot of terms get thrown around, like sciatic problems, blown disc, this, that, and the other thing. There's very specific indicators we look at to find out, is this a problem that can be addressed in a very conservative manner, or is this a problem that's way more severe that we need to prevent permanent further damage from happening and get some action taken immediately.